Hi, my name is Autumn. I'm going to be talking about the video that we watched this week and addressing the questions. I do have my notes, so I will be referring back to those throughout my video. The first question is, what did you think about the video? I thought the video was great. I thought it was clear and concise and really laid out all the information in an entertaining way. I thought it was really educational and great for educators, for parents, and for anyone who might be associated with a student who needs to know about social and emotional learning. The second one is what resonated with you. Since I'm not a full-time teacher yet, I didn't really know a lot about social and emotional learning. So this video was great. I think I've experienced these skills in my own life after learning about them, and I have some skills that I'm good at and some that I'm challenged by. And so it was cool to see the 5 parts and see what skills I had and where they fit in. So I think that's really what resonated with me is I was learning about social and emotional learning for the first time. The third question is, what is a caregiver's role in the social and emotional development of children? The video lays this out really well. They go through each of the 5 parts and give some advice on all of them. For self-awareness, they say that the caregiver should talk to the student daily about their emotions and how they're feeling. I think a lot of times people ask students about their day and what they did, but they don't really ask them about how they felt or what feelings they might have had throughout the day. So I think that's really important for people to be able to do. The second one was self-management. This one I think is probably the most important, I believe. They say that that the caregiver or parent should model and teach great ways and healthy ways to handle stress. I think this is so important. Students go through a lot of different types of stress: school stress, home stress, friend stress. And if they don't know how to deal with it or are not equipped with the tools to deal with it properly, it can be very challenging for them. So just like with all the skills, the caregiver or guardian should be teaching and modeling those. I think this one is really important. The next one was social awareness. The video suggests that the caregiver should read stories to the student and should ask them what they would do in those situations. I think that's really good for younger kids. I don't think it really works for older kids unless you're asking them maybe about experiences in their own life or experiences that their friends are having, and really going through the situation with them and asking them, what would you do differently, or how would you have handled this better? I think that's a way that you could translate it into older students. The next one was relationship skills. The video says that a caregiver, instead of giving advice right away, should ask questions. And I think this is really important. A lot of times older people want to just give advice right away because most of the time we've experienced similar situations. But it's really important to ask questions and to really lead the student through their feelings and their thoughts and to come to a conclusion that they believe is the right decision to make. The next one was responsible decision making. I think the advice was sort of similar to the relationship skills, but really talking to the student about what's going on and the problem or the challenge, and really discussing the different options for them or the consequences of different decisions that they could make. I think that's really important. I think all the advice that they gave caregivers is really great, and it's all things that everybody could work on. So I think that was really cool advice. The next question is, what is a school's role in the social and emotional development of children? And is our school doing this? I think the video really focused that teachers should be building relationships with their students. And I believe this too. The teachers, the more the relationship they build, the more comfortable the students are, and the more that the teacher will be able to help them build these skills and really develop a social and emotional learning development skills, and really be able to, these skills that will last them a lifetime. Also, the video emphasizes that schools should be involving the parents. I know that this is kind of a tricky thing to do. Sometimes parents are too busy or they don't want to be involved. That can be really hard. Any way that an educator or the school can have the parents be involved, whether it be updates, whether it be at the drop-off or the pickup line, whatever the school needs to do, I think it's so important for the parents to be involved, because once the school or the educator and the parent can become a team, then they can really work together to do what's best for the student, and that can really help them hone on these social and emotional development skills. The last question was, what is a community's role in the social and emotional development of a student? What I believe and what the video kind of talks about is a community is really a place for the students to practice these skills, whether it be a home community or, a religious community or a friend community. It is really a great place for these students to learn these skills, to be practicing them at home, and to really put them into play, whether it be making decisions, whether it be relationship skills with new people, whether it be managing stress and different activities that they're doing. I think it's a really safe place for students to really get to practice those skills that they're learning early on in their life. And the last thing is, what experiences in my own life have I had with social and emotional learning? During my long-term sub, I refer to that a lot because it's my longest time teaching that I've had. I would have a lot of students who would get into arguments with each other. They were fifth graders, and they would tend to argue. They're figuring out relationships. They're figuring out how friendships work. And they would come to me with different situations. The thing that I found most helpful was to just sit down and talk with them. We really tried to talk about how they were feeling, what hurt them or what frustrated them the most. And then we tried to talk about how the other person maybe was feeling. If they were in that position, how would they feel? Or, what made them upset? What did you maybe do? Or maybe, you didn't mean to. I definitely think that talking and really having the students say out loud how they're feeling really affects the decision that they make and helps them think more clearly. But without a relationship with my students, I wouldn't have been able to do this. So again, building those relationships with your students is really important. I hope that in my own classroom this next year, I'm able to encourage my students in all 5 parts of social and emotional learning development. I know that building relationships and really helping students work through decision making is probably my strongest suit, and that I might struggle with some of the other ones, but I really hope that I can improve on my own social and emotional development, and that by being a role model and working on it on my own and being really transparent about that, I'll be able to encourage my students as well. I thought the video was super great. I actually hope to use it again someday, and to maybe show other people and help them to understand social and emotional learning. And this was really beneficial. So I look forward to next week and hearing everybody else's responses. Thank you.